Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today it's Friday, it's August 5th of 2022, and we've got lots of updates once again and things to talk about. The big news today is we've got what they're titling an urgent news release from Royal Caribbean and Celebrity about what some of the new updates are regarding testing. We've got other updates, and also I'm going to talk to you about some input on a group cruise that I'm thinking about. So first of all though, let's start off with the big announcement from Royal Caribbean and Celebrity. So Royal Caribbean and Celebrity today, August 5th, made an announcement regarding testing. Not too long ago, they also made another update, but today they have clarified it and added some new factors to it. So first of all, for sailings that are from August 8th until August 14th, fully vaccinated guests will only have to show their a COVID test result if they are boarding a cruise that is 6 nights or longer. So 5 nights or less, then if you're vaccinated, no testing required. This is brand new though. Unvaccinated children will still need to show a test result to board all of the cruises regardless of length, but they will not be required to be tested again at the terminal. So if you're not familiar with how it's been, they'd have to show that negative test result and be tested again at embarkation. So that extra test at embarkation is now gone. They also, a new thing, it says guests will now have the same test standard regardless of the vaccination status. So it used to be that if you were not vaccinated, you had to have that PCR, and if you were vaccinated, you could use the antigen test. Now it doesn't matter. Everyone just needs to do a PCR or an antigen test within 3 days of embarkation. So it doesn't matter. Then finally, it says that these changes, though, do not apply to guests who are sailing to Canada or Bermuda. Canada or Bermuda has their own requirements. So everything stays the same. If you're going to Canada or Bermuda, whether or not you're vaccinated, you're still going to have to do that test. Okay, make sure that you're aware of that. Now, it says though, for people who are booked on cruises on Royal Caribbean that sail on August 14th or after, they are going to give us some more updates next week on what the protocols are going to be for those sailings. And then as far as Celebrity, they have the same requirements that Royal Caribbean just said, but they want to make sure that everybody is clear also that unvaccinated guests have to present a digital or a physical copy of a supervised negative COVID test taken within 3 days of embarkation. So they're doing that same thing. So that's under Celebrity, and they also on Celebrity, if you are going on 5 nights or less and you are vaccinated, no testing required, and everybody has that 3-day window to do a PCR or an antigen test. I think that's huge. Now, it's going to be really interesting to see if other cruise lines do anything, because ever since Royal Caribbean announced that, we'd had the cruise lines that announced things before then, but we have not heard anything from Princess or from Holland America yet on those changes, and we have not heard very much clarification as far as vaccination requirements. Just before I did this video, literally just before, I called Royal Caribbean and asked if people can sail whether or not they are vaccinated, and she says yes, but you have to have a vaccination exemption if you are not vaccinated. So when we were hearing last week that said, if you are not vaccinated, you can go ahead and sail and not worry about it, that's not the word that I got from the person that I spoke with. And so let me know if any of you have received an email or a letter from Royal Caribbean with that other information in it. I don't know if it just applies to the sailing that you're on. I would really like to hear from you if you have received information from Royal Caribbean on that. And my email address, it's always below this video. We've got letsgotraveltips@gmail.com or my a.larson@dreamvacations.com. Either one of those is just fine. So just send me an email if you have received that. I would really appreciate it. Now, the other updates, we've got a couple of updates coming out of Royal Caribbean regarding, as I told you yesterday, the Quantum of the Seas. They have had to extend the number of cruises that are going to be affected by that engine problem that they are having, and they are going to be working on it on the sailing. But I am really grateful to our Let's Go family member, Karen. I had the pleasure of meeting her. She was on, and her husband were on the same Holland America sailing that I was on, and so I had the pleasure of meeting them, and so she was so kind to send me this. And they are sailing on Quantum of the Seas on August 22nd, so here's a little bit more information. It says they have replaced their visit to Icy Strait Point, Alaska with Ketchikan. That's not bad. I think that's just great. Additionally, instead of visiting Endicott Arm and Dawes Glacier on Friday, they are going to have a full day in Juneau. So if you are not familiar, oftentimes cruise ships will go and see that glacier, the Endicott Arm and Dawes Glacier, and then go to Juneau. So clearly they're just going to get a longer day in Juneau. And you know what? I don't think that that's all bad. When you're in Juneau, you can go see the Mendenhall Glacier, and there is a lot to do in Juneau. I think that if I was going to Juneau, I would not miss the Mendenhall Glacier, and they've got the best whale watching there. It is fabulous there. So there's a lot to see and do there. They've got lots of excursions, and so take a look at what's offered, but I don't think that a whole day in Juneau is bad at all, and it makes it so that you've got more time to do more excursions or do an excursion and explore on your own. So I don't think that's bad at all. Now, let me carry on here. I just get so excited to tell you all this. So anyway, our ships can so another engine is scheduled for routine maintenance soon, which means we'll have to reduce their overall speed. Our ships can safely sail in these kind of situations at reduced speeds, and while we are working to expedite the repair process, the global supply chain issues that we're all experiencing are complicating the situation. And so as Royal Caribbean, kudos to them. They are giving some onboard credit to their passengers just to try to do a little bit to make things a little bit better, because they had to change the itinerary. So if you are in an interior or an ocean view room, you're going to get $75 US, $100 for balcony staterooms, and $200 if you're in a suite. Your credits will be available once you're on board and can be used anywhere on the ship. If you have a remaining amount of that onboard credit left over at the end of the cruise, they will refund that money to you, which is really unusual. Usually if you get onboard credit given to you from the cruise line, you need to use it. Otherwise you just lose it. And so I think that's wonderful. So they are still going to depart, it shows, from Seattle at 4 p.m. Then on Monday, Tuesday, they'll just have a sea day. Wednesday, they will be in Ketchikan from 7 a.m. until 1 p.m. Skagway the next day from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. Love that long day in Skagway. And then Juneau from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. The next day will be a sea day. And then Victoria from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. That's a nice big window in Victoria as well. And then finally back to Seattle the next day. And so thanks again, Karen. That gives us all a really good idea of what's going on with Quantum of the Seas. Another update, and you know what? One of you was so kind to send this to me while I was in Arizona, and then I couldn't find it. And so I just wanted to let everybody know, we've been talking a lot on Princess about how in Skagway we have heard of changes on the Discovery Princess, the Royal Princess, and the Majestic Princess, as those are the ships that often use, well, they always use that first dock right there where that landslide was in Skagway. But Let's Go family member let us know that they are going to be sailing on the Grand Princess on August 10th through the 17th, and they got an email letting them know that the Grand will be using that berth, the one that's further back that I put after my video on I think it was on Tuesday, and that shows that where that dock was when I was there, it was the Celebrity Solstice. So they're going to tie them up there, but they're going to have to use the water shuttles to take everybody into port there. So just be prepared for that if you are on the Grand Princess August 10th. And I would also say, if you are on the Grand Princess on some other sailings, let us know what you're hearing or how things went on your cruise if you've just been on, so that we can get a better idea on how often often that happens, because there's a few different docks there that Princess uses. The Holland America ships use certain docks there as well. I would say that the Holland America ships are the best situated to walk straight into town, but like when I was just there, Holland America was right next to the Crown Princess, and so I don't think there's a bad dock in that town. I should add that. So everything is really handy. They do have it set up very nice in Skagway that you can just walk into town if you don't mind walking, and they've got these handy dandy little shuttles that go around, and I think it's $3 for all day maybe, or $5. It used to be $2 when we went last year, but this year it was just a little bit more, but that's not bad. You can go back and forth and ride it as much as you want, or if you're in one part of town and you want to go down the street, you can ride it there too, just as much as you want. So I think that that's very nice. So I also wanted to let everybody know a little bit about luggage, because we talked about that yesterday, and then we're going to get on to group cruises. So and kind of your input on a region of the world is also what I'm very interested in. So, and I would appreciate that from everybody, even if you're not looking for a group cruise. I think that everybody here is very well informed and has a lot of really interesting perspectives that helps all of us. So first of all, we heard from Liz today, and she is in Quebec waiting to embark on the Caribbean Princess for her cruise, and they flew from Scotland, and she said that there were 4 people in their group and none of them had their suitcase arrive with them. Okay. And she said that lots of people there in that waiting, you know how when you get to embarkation and then y'all have to wait sometimes, she said that lots of people there were mentioning that their luggage did not make it either. And so I just wanted to give you all a heads up about that. It seems like luggage problems are never ending. Earlier today, I read this story on Business Insider, and it was about what's going on at the Dublin airport, that they think that a bunch of the handlers have opened the luggage, taken what they wanted, and thrown them in the trash. And so all of these people are not getting their luggage back. And so it sounds like maybe the officials are going to look into that, but what a mess. And so I just wanted to make you aware of that. Now, there is a couple of thoughts that people mentioned. One is, and this is true, you know how when you're boarding a flight, if everybody wants to take a carry-on, then the overhead bins get too full, and then people have to check their bags. So that's a worry. And so what I would say is get in line to get on the ship as quick as on the airplane as fast as you can. And you know what? I think that for people that are like me, and you who are here with me, we are like on top of things. We are trying to navigate everything optimally and to try to be prepared for everything that happens. But there's a lot of people out there who aren't that way, and it's not bad. It's just everybody is different, or else they haven't heard yet. And so hopefully there will be enough people that won't want to take their suitcase on, that y'all, my dear family, Let's Go family members, can get your suitcase on with you. So there's that. And then also somebody mentioned, especially with those compression packing cubes. And I would like to say I've been doing compression and packing cubes before they even invented the compression ones. I know it does make it get heavy faster. It really does. And so you know what I do, and I'll try to remember to mention this. I am working on thinking of what to do in a packing video for you, but I put stuff in my suitcase, and this is just crazy. Then I close it, and then I lift it like I'm having to put it in an overhead bin. And when Gordon comes with me, he's very strong. But when I go by myself, I have to make sure that I can lift it up into the bin. And I know that, back in the old days, it seemed like the flight attendants or other people around you would be right there to offer to help. And I haven't seen that quite as much lately. And so I know it's not their job to put my suitcase in the overhead bin. But anyway, so do double check and make sure you go. And so I just keep doing that as I am packing. And then if it's getting too heavy, I look at what I've got and think, what can I do without? And so kind of keep that in mind. And I'll talk to you more about my one of you asked to see my capsule wardrobe for Alaska, and I do have that down to a science, and so I can show you that sometimes too. And then one last little reminder, one of our Let's Go family members said that one time they knew someone that they were doing the thing where they pack half of their husband's stuff in one suitcase and half of theirs, and then the other half, but they accidentally put all the pants in one suitcase and all the blouses and tops in the other suitcase, so they got there with half. And so just make make sure you spread things out. You probably already knew that, but I just thought, it was a good reminder to me. And then, anyway, I just am getting so many emails about luggage right now that if you wonder why it's on my mind a lot, that would be why. And so, the other concern with packing a carry-on right now is those COVID tests. One of you mentioned, if you're wanting to take 6 of those COVID tests with you, you don't want them to get mushed because that seal needs to be there. If they're going to be proctored tests, they look and make sure that it is a sealed package. And so I've been thinking about that an awful lot, and I will get back to you. But one of the thoughts that came to me right off is, those tests, if you just need a COVID test to take yourself to say, oh, do I have COVID or not? Those little square ones that you can get from the government are like much smaller than the ones that come from eMed, and those work good for self-tests. And then also, when I go on my next cruise that right now isn't until the end of October, I am going to use on-point testing with a government test. I've heard from several of you, though, that works just fine for embarkation, so I'm going to do that. But that might be another option for us as well, to be able to take those tests and do it with on-point testing. The other thing that I think of is next time I go, I'm going to take fewer COVID tests. When we just went to Europe in May, it's when we still thought we were going to need a test to come back into the US, and I took a lot of tests with us just for any eventuality. I'll probably take fewer with me, but in the meantime, we will all think about that. The one thought I did have is that you could put your COVID test like in your personal items, like take a tote bag. That way you could pack your carry-on bag, your actual carry-on suitcase, as full as you can get it, and then put those loosely in another bag. And then that same space in your tote bag could be used for souvenirs coming home once you've used those tests. And then, you know what, when we went and didn't need all my tests, I put them in the checked bag to bring them home. And they all, I think only one of them came unsealed. The others kind of got mushed, but that seal was still okay. So I'll think more about that. You all put your ideas in the comments, and we'll kind of see where we end up. But those are the things that came to me right off. Now, here's the input I wanted from you. I am trying to think of a lot of, just plan ahead a little bit and think of group cruises. And one reason is because Holland America has that amazing sale going on right now that you get to have it all for free. And so that gives you like the signature beverage package. It gives you $100 shore excursion credit. It gives you a specialty dining as well as the Wi-Fi for free, so you get all that. Plus, they're including free gratuities and an extra onboard credit. So that is huge. That sale's not going to come around again soon. So I thought, well, if I could think of something that I would really like to do, because I'm only doing group cruises to things I really want to do, I thought that it would be good to book and at least put a deposit down before September 30th, and for Gordon and I as well. So I've been looking through cruises. I came across one, and our Let's Go family member Tammy mentioned that she had seen it as well. At least I think this is the one that she had seen. It's called the 14-Day Holy Land and Ancient Kingdoms, and it's in and out of Athens. You go to Nafplion, Nafplion, Greece, Mykonos. You go to Crete, over to Heraklion, which is my favorite port in Crete. There's like three that I've been to. Yep. And I like that one the best. And then here's the thing I love about it, though. You go to Haifa for Tel Aviv in Israel, and you get an overnight there. An overnight, you guys, in Haifa. Think how much more you can see. And then the next day, so that's 2 days in Israel. The next day you go to Ashdod. So you have a whole nother day, and that's the port they consider for Jerusalem. They do have excursions. They're like an overnight, so that you get to go see so much more. And so to me, that sounds fabulous. And then after that, you go to Cyprus, Rhodes, Kushadasi for Ephesus in Turkey, and then Olympia, Greece, and then you end up again in Athens. And I left out a couple of sea days there. But those are the ports. Here's my big question to you. What do y'all think about what is going on in the Mideast right now with like Iran and Syria and Lebanon and Israel and everything? Tell me what you think. Do you think I guess we could go ahead and book it. And then I know that the cruise lines won't take us there if it's not safe. I'm not worried about them taking us there when it's not safe. Do you think it's a good idea? Would anybody else want to come on this with us? It's October 1st through the 15th of 2023. And like I said, it's round trip out of Athens, which going to Athens is always a treat. And so tell me what you think. Tell me if you think that the cruise will even go there. I know that's like over a year from now. And they would probably put in some other fun ports. But would you please tell me what you're all thinking? Let me know if you think you would want to come. I looked at it, and here's the thing too, is like I've been looking at the different cruise lines and the different cruises that they do in this region of the world, because I really do want to go to Israel. And I really like the approach of going on a cruise ship. I love the overnight so that you get a total of 3 days in Israel. I think that would suit me well. And so in looking at that, Holland America is the only one that I have found that has an itinerary like this. I wish they went to Egypt and Jordan with it. I can't find one that they do. And so if y'all know of one, please tell me. But I know that Norwegian will do one that goes to Israel, but they don't do an overnight, so you don't get 3 days, and they go to some places that I don't really care if I go in the Mideast. And so not that there's anything wrong with them, but they have just not been on my list, and it is way more expensive. It is, I believe, 16 nights, but it is exponentially more expensive. And so I'm not going to do that one. And so tell me what you all think, or if you have seen another one that you think we should be considering with it. I think that I have a feeling I'm probably going to book this one, and we'll just decide if we want to make it a group cruise. But tell me what you think, things that I should think of before I do that. I really appreciate your all input. I really appreciate you all very, very much. And if you haven't subscribed yet, would you please subscribe to our channel? Because we not only need you, I feel like you need us. And the more of us we have here together, the better experience that I think all of us will have. So I really do appreciate you all. If you appreciate these videos, would you please give this one a thumbs up? I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.